In the last update to Caelesti, I introduced the table mushrooms. These are visible when a mushroom naturally spawns on a log or just on the edge of any regular old block. I'm super happy with the effect, however, this mushroom texture is from very early into the development of Caelesti. So I've updated the palette with a few additional colours for some further detail. The brighter stem and underside are based off of the larger mushroom's appearance, although this could probably use updating too. I'm really not sure why, but around about this time I was utterly convinced that limiting my colour palettes as much as possible would enhance my pixel art somehow. It did not, it just made everything look extremely simplified. A few extra colours can really make the difference. Now that the brown mushroom is aligning with the look of modern Caelesti more, I'm going to turn my focus to its stumpy cousin, the red mushroom. Before update 46, both the brown and red mushrooms could be found with a smaller mushroom. Having table mushrooms for the red ones doesn't seem like the right idea, so what about a variety of smaller mushrooms surrounding the main central shroom with a variety of quantities and textures? In update 47, I made the spots on the side of large red mushrooms even more random looking, so random textures will help with the placement of the spots. Random positions, rotations, and quantities will help to make each and every red mushroom look unique. First off, I've created new models for the large and small red mushroom. There are 4 variants of the main mushroom, each with a slightly different offset from the center of the block it's placed on. Rotating each of the 4 models by 90, 180, and 270 degrees adds to the variety even further. I've converted each of the 4 central mushroom variants into a parent model so that these can be referenced with different textures later on. Now for the smaller mushrooms. There are 6 potential locations for a small mushroom to spawn, and each of these 6 locations will once again have a number of texture variants. Now it's time for the block state. First off, I've separated the large and small mushrooms into 2 separate blocks. This ensures that every instance of red mushroom has one of the large mushrooms and one of the smaller ones around it. If I add a single entry of null to this list, then we rarely find a mushroom without a smaller companion. After balancing out the weights and separating every small mushroom into its own individual block, it looks terrible. At the moment, each of the smaller mushrooms share the exact same number of entries in their respective block state section, which means the same entry in each list is being picked per block. By increasing the weight by a substantial amount and then adding a tiny increment, the game will now choose each of these smaller mushrooms independently. Lastly, I've added 4 texture variants for the large mushroom, and there is just so much variety here now. We can do more though. Due to the way the smaller mushrooms are laid out, there's a chance that they spawn directly next to each other, like you can see here. I'm not entirely against the look, but we can add some further variety to the smaller mushrooms, which will make this specific issue a bit more rare. Introducing slightly taller, smaller mushrooms. Each time a smaller mushroom spawns, the block state will pick between the shorter and taller variants. There is an astronomically small chance that all 6 mushrooms are picked, and an even smaller chance that they're all the short or tall variants. Finally, it's time for the textures. I've started out by updating the old red mushroom color palette, giving it a similar treatment to the new brown mushroom. Each large mushroom has 4 texture variants as well as 4 model variants. The 6 smaller surrounding mushrooms also have 4 texture variants with the 2 model variants for the differing heights. In update 46, brown mushrooms got their own unique thing, and now red mushrooms have something that is uniquely theirs. An absolute ton of potential variants using a dynamic block state system. There are a good number of features in Caelesti that were made quite early on, well before I'd established a decent art style for the pack. As I move forward with development, I want to occasionally revisit some of these old features and give them the same complexity and detail as you'd expect to see from something released for Caelesti today. I think these new mushrooms are looking great, and I hope you guys look forward to seeing them in your own game with the release of update 47. Yes, it's a much shorter video than usual today, but rest assured I've already started a handful of other projects that I'll be releasing over the coming weeks, one of which I'm especially excited about. Anyway, that'll do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching as always, and until next time, take care and bye-bye.
Thank you.